YouTube, what is good? Welcome back to another video. And man, once again, shout out to all of y'all. If you clicked on this video you're watching right now, within the first 15 seconds, you clicked on from post noties, you're a real one. I appreciate you. I love you a lot. I ain't even gonna lie. Like, I really do. I appreciate it a lot. It means a lot to me. And it just makes me want to keep uploading. Like, I just want to keep grinding. Want to keep putting content out for y'all. People who are leaving comments, recommending builds to review. I appreciate y'all. Y'all are real ones. So with that being said, if you're new, go ahead and hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Turn on post noties. You don't want to miss an upload. We're reviewing builds. We're showing you my own builds that I create. We're going over all the protuned builds. We got a lot of content, so you don't want to be missing out. I might be going over something you're looking for. So once again, like I said, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new. And today we are back with a protuned build. Haven't done one of these in a little while, and I'm kind of excited to do this. It's a pretty good build. Someone they recommended this one, so I was like, you know what, we can do this. But let's go ahead and hop right into it. So first we got position, small forward, best skill, playmaking, archetype, dealer. That's a fire build name. I really like it. The build is inspired by Ben Simmons. We got stature 6'10" height, weight 215 pounds, and wingspan 7'6" wingspan. That is crazy. Description, we got a lengthy playmaker at the wing position. That's facts. Pinpoint dimer, that's also facts. A transition juggernaut on both ends of the court. I agree with that, just not this recent version of Ben Simmons. I don't know what's happened to him. He fell off hard, and I just don't like how he plays now. Like, after the whole blunder where he didn't dunk on Trae Young, he just has not been the same player, bro. But that's besides the point. Let's go ahead and hop into the attributes. So finishing up first, we got 74 close shot. I'm cool with that. Ben Simmons does play under the rim. He's not too much of a shooter at all. So I like the 74 close shot. It's not a lot at all, but it's enough for you to get a bucket on a 6'10" build. Driving layup, you're going to get a 75. I also kind of like that on a 6'10" build, especially being Ben Simmons. I think it should be a little bit higher, but I understand why they didn't go too high with the driving layup. Driving dunk, you get an 89. So I do like 89 driving dunk because that's what Ben Simmons does. Is his finishing is dunking. Finishing at the rack, he's dunking the ball. Standing dunk, you get an 81. I also like that. He's not doing it too much. Like I said, he was scared of Trae Young, so this should probably be like a 25. Nah, I'm just joking, but the 81, I do like that because that is Ben Simmons. Post control, you get a 79. I'm not too mad at that. He does play with his back to the basket. He's just not playing as much anymore. He's not a starter, so I get what they were trying to do. They're trying to make like starter Ben Simmons, you know, efficient, effective Ben Simmons. But once again, I am not telling you guys to make this build. We're just reviewing it and going over it, and you can use this build as a template to tweak it to your liking. You don't have to make this build exactly like this. On to the shooting, you're going to get 80 mid-range. Now I'm okay with this because Ben Simmons can knock the mid-range jumper down here and there, but he's just not shooting them often, and I feel like 80 is good enough for you to be able to knock the mid-range down. If I was going to take my cap breakers, probably put them on mid-range or three-pointer. I'm just letting you know now. That's where my cap breakers would be going because you need shooting on this game badly. Three-point shot, you get a 75. This, I'm okay with, but at the same time, if you're trying to make Ben Simmons, there's no, but I am at the same time because it's going to allow the build to be able to shoot the ball, which you need to be able to do on this game. Free throw, you get a 70. Hey, I'm just the messenger, bro. Don't shoot me. I'm just the messenger. Wreck heads, I don't know what to tell you. You get fouled, you're not knocking them down. You might make one or two here and there, but you're not going to be knocking them down like that. On to the playmaking. You get a 92 pass accuracy. I'm very happy with this. You're going to get Hall of Fame dimer. You're going to get versatility. All the passing badges you need with this build. It's going to make this build a really good 6'10" playmaker. That's what I'm happy about with this build. Ball handle, you get a 75. For a 6'10", I think 75 is really good. You're going to be able to handle the ball. You can still get your own bucket because to go with that, you're going to get 68 speed with ball, which gives you lightning launch, I'm pretty sure. Yep, you get lightning launch on bronze. You could take your tier 2 max +1 and put it on lightning launch and have silver on a 6'10", bro. Going to make the build very, very good as far as getting its own bucket, driving to the rack, creating a fading midi, or just creating space to shoot a midi. You're going to be able to get some good animations on this 6'10" build. On to the defense. This area I saw, and I wasn't too happy about with them trying to make Ben Simmons. I just wasn't with it. But like I said, this is a newer version of Ben Simmons. So let's go over it. We got 70 interior defense. That's just something I'm not rocking with that, bro. 6'10", 7'6" wingspan. I don't really like that. It's not bad, but it's not good at all either. Like it's closer to bad than it is to average and okay. Perimeter defense, you get a 71. It's another thing I don't like because Ben Simmons isn't a terrible defender at all. He's actually a pretty decent defender to be 6'10", bro. So I'm okay with it because new Ben Simmons just isn't that much of that player. But if you're trying to make this build, 2K should have gave this build a little bit more perimeter defense. Steal, you're going to get a 73. I'm cool with that. You get some passing lane steals. You're going to get interceptor on silver. I do like that. You get glove on bronze. So it's going to help out a little bit with the defense. Block, you're going to get an 84 though. Now this I'm very happy about. Got to have the chase down block. You get it on silver. Going to make this build very crazy as far as getting chase downs, bro. Now on to the rebounding. You're going to get 60 offensive rebound and 80 defensive rebound. I honestly think that's perfect for Ben Simmons. He can rebound the ball at a pretty good rate. And I think 80 on a 6'10", that's not like your primary rebounder, is really good. You get rebound chaser on silver. You're going to get box out beast on silver. The build will be able to grab a board with no problem for sure. And you get pretty good animations once you pass like 75 in my opinion. But on to the physicals, you're going to get 75 speed. Now this is where I'm just not. There's a lot of parts of this build that they're trying to make Ben Simmons that I'm not agreeing with. And I understand why they did it, but at the same time, it's just not that much of Ben Simmons. So speed, you're going to get a 75. I personally think Ben Simmons should have almost 80 speed, bro. If not 80 speed. That's just my opinion. But 75 is okay because you're still 6'10". Agility, you get a 71. It's another thing I think just needs to be a little bit higher. Like 2K, they were making this build to be Ben Simmons, but I feel like there's just parts of this build that they could have lowered and put in different areas to make it more like Ben Simmons rather than making like certain areas of his game super OP. For instance, he shouldn't have 80 mid-range or 75 3. They could have lowered that and just made this more of a finishing and playmaking build. But they wanted to make the build a little bit more versatile, so I understand why they did what they did. Strength, you get a 79. Not too mad at that. I think he should have like at least 83 so you can get strong handle in Hall of Fame. But 79 is still pretty good, especially on a 6'10" build. That's 215 pounds. You're going to get strong handle gold. Still going to work just as good. Last but not least, you get a 78 vertical. Going to help you get those contact dunks on this build. I'm happy with that. At least they got something close to right on this build. A lot of things are right on this build, but I just feel like a lot of things are also missing. So I do think the attributes are really good. And they did good with a lot of the attributes, but they could have done better is what I'm saying. But that's all for the attributes. Let's get into the badges, which is one thing I actually do like about this build. Y'all know me. The more badges the more badges you have, the better a build will be or can be. Yeah, the attributes might be low, but getting a badge in general just allows you to do what that badge is supposed to do a little bit better. And you can argue with me on that. That's just how I feel, bro. Like, I've noticed it and I can tell when you have a badge and when you don't. So let's get into them. Legend, you're not going to get any badges, sadly. But Hall of Fame, you do get Hall of Fame Dimer. That's fire. I like that a lot. Going to help your teammates out a lot. This build is more so of like pure playmaker-ish. So your offense has to run through this build. If you're going to make this build, your offense has to be running through you. Gold, you're going to get Aerial Wizard, Break Starter, Post Fade Phenom, and Strong Handle. I like all those badges a lot, especially at the gold level. Post Fade Phenom is going to make this build much better than it is, so I'm happy with that. Silver, you get a lot of badges. You're going to get Bailout, Box Out Beast, High Flying Denier, Interceptor, Off Ball Pest, Paint Patroller, Post Powerhouse, Post Up Poet, Posterizer, Rebound Special or Rebound Chaser, Rise Up, Set Shot Specialist, and Versatile Visionary. Those are all honestly really good badges to have on silver. Like, I can't hate on those silver badges at all. I wish my build had this many silver badges because that's a lot, and they're all really good badges to have at the silver level. Last but not least, we got the bronze badges. And even here, you get a lot of badges, bro. So bronze, you're going to get ankle assassin, brick wall, challenger, deadeye, float game, glove, handles for days, hook specialist, immovable enforcer, layup mixmaster, lightning launch, paint prodigy, physical finisher, pogo stick, shifty shooter, and unpluckable, bro. The build just has so many badges, and I feel like that's going to make this build a lot better than the attributes give it. So I think it's a pretty fire build. I don't think it's the best, but I don't think it's trash either, not one bit. If you know what you're doing on this game and you use this build, you're not going to have a problem, bro. The only thing about this build is I would probably customize it and give up the archetype name. I'm not going to lie. I'd probably give up the archetype name because this build is pretty good. Like, it really is. So if you could just tweak it a little bit, it'd make this build a lot better. But let's hit continue and see what shades we get. And you're going to get shades of Ben Simmons, of course, Tracy McGrady, and LeBron James, all big point forwards. You get a LeBron shade, bro. That lets you know the build has to be good. Like, it has to be if you get a LeBron shade. Your archetype is the dealer. I think that's a fire build name. I think the build is pretty good. You guys let me know in the comment section how you feel about this build. Is it fire? Is it trash? If it's trash, let me know why. Don't just call it trash. I personally think every build is good in its own way, so I will never call a build trash unless it's actually just like terrible. But let me know in the comment section how you feel about the build. And if you don't care about the build name, let me know what you would change to make this build any better. I have a couple of ideas, but I'm gonna just let y'all tell me in the comment section, and we'll have a good discussion in there. With that being said, grading this build from A to F on it being Ben Simmons, I'm gonna go with a B+. I think the build, like I said, is very close to Ben Simmons, but I can't go A because there's a couple areas that they just like gave you a little bit more to make the build better that Ben Simmons' game just does not have. So that's why I'm gonna go with the B+. Now, being able to use this build in multiple game modes, I'm gonna have to go B+ also. Reason being, you could take it to the ones court, you'll be able to score and stuff, but defense, you're just lacking a little bit too much. You get block, yeah, you get steal, but you don't have no interior or perimeter, so guarding the perimeter is going to be very hard if you go against somebody who knows what they're doing. Now, you could definitely take this build to the twos court. You could be the 1 or the 2 with the smaller lineup, or with the bigger lineup, you could be the 1, and it'll just be a really good lineup. You got to know what you're doing, though. That's the thing. You got to know what you're doing. You can obviously take it to the 3s, and you could take it to the 5s, of course. Like I said, if you got this build, your game, your style of play has to revolve around this build being the primary ball handler, in my opinion. That's just how I feel about it. But that's all I got for you guys today. If you made it to the end of this video, I appreciate you a lot. Please hit that like button. It goes such a long way. And I appreciate you if you even made it this far in the first place. Turn on post notifications and subscribe if you're new. We got a lot of content coming out, so you don't want to miss out. Be on the lookout for it. Like I said, this is all I got for y'all today. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.